Hello all, welcome back to CPQ Session 3 and you are watching SFDC-Chronicle. Hope you all are safe and healthy. Before moving to our today's agenda, I request you all who haven't gone through the previous video yet, please have a look on that. It will help you to understand the CPQ better. And to all of you, please like, share, subscribe and provide comments if you have any. Today we are going to talk about product rule, different types of product rule, when the rule evaluated and different type of selection rule that present in Salesforce CPQ. So what is product rule? Let's think about some scenario like we are selling camera to our customer. But while configuring the code, we forgot to add a memory card and place the order. Then you can imagine how much difficulty will be faced both by our customer as well as seller. Also, because the memory card is essential, it's mandatory for the camera. And if you do not have any memory card, then you will not able to use the camera. So that is why the difficulty will be faced by customer as well as to create a new code and place a new order. Our sales representative for a single order, our sales representative will also face that same issue to rectify their problem that they have made while configuring the camera in code. Also, there is some other scenario like if some company is selling coffee but some of their customers are allergic to dairy products and they don't want to select those dairy products while configuring the code. But mistakenly, if some sales rep select a dairy product, then how much mess will be created that you can just imagine. So to overcome all those human error, we actually use product rule that help us to evaluate option present in cart is valid or not, or something mandatory we are missing or not based on some predefined condition, and that will perform the action. Sales rep will able to check out the correct product and our customer will be happy with the whole process. So that is what product rule actually does. So there are different type of product rules that will alert our sales rep that something is not right in the configured product or in the code line editor. So how can they will able to understand that one with this different product rule? That is, they will get an alert like this way. A pop-up will be shown to them that something is missing or you have selected some wrong option with your bundle, so don't move forward with this configuration. They will able to see some alert, means as per your configuration they will able to see some alert on their page, and they after seeing that one they can able to continue or they can just able to cancel it and reconfigure the products again. So this is one type of product rule. Second one is validation. In case of validation, where you are sure that this product should not go with that particular selection of any other product in the configured product or in the code line editor, at that time you provide a validation rule you provide a validation error message like the one that is coming in the red, and sales rep will not able to proceed further from that page. They must have to reconfigure their product in the cart. So this is a type of validation or product rule that we have. The third one is selection. Selection means whenever you select a particular option in your cart, in your configured product layout, then some other product that is not compatible with that particular product, that will be disabled automatically. Suppose in this case, in this screenshot, we have selected smart light bulb. So when we selected smart light bulb, the smart UK power strip, the smart UK power outlet, this product is disabled, and if you see, the checkbox is disabled. So we can't select those checkbox if we select that particular light bulb. Same wise, you can, like on the load, you can disable something, or you can enable some product as well on selection of some different product. Like if we deselect smart light bulb, then this whatever is currently grayed out, that should be enabled. You can do this via selection rule as well. So this is one type of product rule. And the last one that we have, that is filter. In the filter, in the product configuration, what it will show, it will not show you any option. Rather, it will show you a link called add option, and depending upon whatever criteria you have predefined, depending upon that, whenever you click on that add option, some product will be showing into your using this one. So this is how our filter condition works. So this is the 4 type of product rule that we have in our CPQ, Salesforce CPQ. Let's move on. Now we have a idea about product rule, what different type of product rule we have. Now we want, like, what are the object that is working behind the scene, so that we get all this product rule work in the front end. So those objects are product rule, that is one main object, and to work, like to show a validation rule, to show depending upon which condition we need to fire that particular rule, where we can able to fire that particular product rule, or like depending upon any custom object, how we can able to show that product rule. Those all are there. We will come into that one in our later part, in our later in this video, in our later part. But those the main object that is working behind the scene, those are product rule, error condition, action, lookup query, configuration. And there is another tool that will also help us to configure the product rule and it work properly in the front end. That is configuration attribute, and the second one is summary variable. Now, how to use those one and when to use those, how it will work in Salesforce, we will show you all the steps in this video. Now, once we know that which object is required to run a product rule, now let's move into the part that where or when those rules are evaluated in CPQ. So the rule are evaluated in two places. That is, the first one is in the configure product page and the second one is code editor page. So that is the reason we define the scope either as product or as code. Now there will be evaluation event. What does evaluation event mean? Like when on that particular page the rule will be fired. So the rule will be fired when the product configuration load or when we edit anything in the product configuration or when we save it. At that time, the product rule will fire. And also in the code, we only have save evaluation event. Now, all the rule type will not go with all the evaluation event like you see in this particular slide that load will go with the selection and filter, validation will go with edit and save only. But there is a good news that you don't need to memorize this one because whenever you select a rule type and a evaluation event and a different evaluation event with a scope that is not uh, that is a scope that will not support that one, then Salesforce will provide you an error message that with this rule type this evaluation event will not go. So that is a good thing that you don't need to memorize it. Okay, let's see like from where you get all the scope, evaluation, event and rule type in Salesforce. Let's move on to Salesforce. So I am already logged in into my CPQ org and I am already in product rule. How to navigate into product rule? Click on this 9 dot and open Salesforce CPQ. Suppose if I open Salesforce CPQ, and from the navigation bar I need to click on product rule. Then I will see all the product rule. If you click new, then you will able to click a new product rule. So if you want that product rule should be run, please click on this active checkbox. Otherwise, your product rule will not run in your configuration page or your code editor page. Now this is the type where we can select whether it is a validation or a selection or a alert or a filter. Scope will be either code or product that we have already told about. Evaluation event that will be load, edit, save. Now there is one more thing that is always. Now what is always? If you are not sure like on which evaluation event this rule should fire, then it is always a safer side to select always. So that's why whenever it is always does not mean that it will fire always. Always means that wherever it is required to fire that particular product rule, Salesforce CPQ is smart enough to understand that one and it will evaluate that rule and fire that rule. So if you are not sure about where to fire this particular product rule, then please select always. And if you are sure about where to fire those one, then select whichever is required, load, edit or save. So that is one thing from product rule itself. You will get all the field that is that we have shown in our that we have discussed so far. And there is one more thing, condition is when you define a error condition or lookup condition, like you can able to select whether any of those condition will be satisfied, then your product rule should fire, or it must satisfy all the condition and then only your product rule will fire, or you can always use that custom one and you can provide your custom logic in the advanced condition, this text box. Now message, if it is a validation rule or alert, in that case message is required, because if it is a validation rule then you want to show a validation message to your sales rep, like why they can't able to proceed, or if you want to show an alert, what is the, you must show a message so that your sales rep will able to understand that this is the reason that Salesforce CPQ gives me an alert, or it gives me the validation message and it will not allow me to proceed further. So on that case, message is required. So that is all related to rule evaluation. Now let's have some uh, example, like when to use what, and we'll show you also this rule evaluation and different type of product rule in Salesforce. So suppose I have a product called burger. Now inside that product I have three bun, that is regular bun, Big Mac bun and quarter pound bun. And within that particular bundle, burger bundle, I have a sauce called Big Mac sauce. Now I want something like that, that whenever a regular bun or quarter pound bun has been selected, Big Mac bun, if a sales rep choose regular bun as well as Big Mac sauce, then they should get an alert message, because regular bun should not go with the Big Mac sauce. Okay, we can do it via the alert. Also, you can restrict it. Alert, what will done? It will show you a pop-up, but it will allow sales rep to continue with the configuration. But if our use case is something like that, that we should not allow our sales rep to select the regular one with Big Mac sauce. So in that case, what we will do, we'll use validation rule, so that they get an validation rule like your regular bun will not go with your Big Mac sauce. Please select any other sauce and proceed with your configuration. So we can show a validation message there itself. Now how to do it via something else rather than alert or validation message? We can very well do it via selection. How come we can do it via selection? Whenever a sales rep select regular bun in their configuration, at that time Big Mac sauce will automatically disable. Okay, so that they will not able to select Big Mac and we don't need to show any alert and validation. They will choose some other sauce. So that is how, depending upon your business case, you can select whether your alert, validation or selection, which one will be better for you to select as a product rule, type of product rule. Okay, let's see that in our Salesforce. Okay, so what we have done, we have created a product rule for our demo purpose, and we have select type as validation, scope as product, and evaluation event as always. We have also activate that particular rule, and condition met is all. Now, in our error condition, because we need to tell our CPQ, right, that what this product rule should do, what validation they will show, and also we have provided the message as well. So we need to provide the criteria as well, right? So to provide the criteria, we have created error condition. So in the error condition, what we have done, we have selected product option. In the product option, if my product, that is this product, that is regular bun, is selected, its product code is RB001. So that is the reason we have provided this filter value as RB001. So if this is selected as well as my sauce is selected, Big Mac sauce is selected, then I will show a error message to them. So suppose in this case I have selected regular bun as well as Big Mac sauce and I click on save. It should provide me a validation error. See, you can't choose Big Mac sauce with regular bun. So this is the one that will get. So this is how the validation rule works. Now let's move on to some more feature that we have in our product rule. That is, in the error condition, what you can do, what more you can do. So in the tested object, what type of object is allowed here? So quote is allowed, quote line is allowed, configuration attribute is also allowed, product option is allowed. And depending upon whatever tested object you have selected, our tested field will be populated because this too is dependent field. Now you can also use a tested variable. What is this tested variable? Let's look into that one. So tested variable is that will come with the summary variable. Now what is summary variable? Suppose there is some criteria like whenever you buy a product, in case of suppose burger, whenever you select a burger and whenever you with that burger, if you select chicken patty with more than 2 quantity, then it should give you a error message that you cannot select more than 1 chicken patty with a single burger. So to do that one, what you need to do? You need to count how much chicken patty you have in your configuration, correct? So how you can able to do that one? That is via summary variable. So in our case, we use this same thing, that is Big Mac sauce one, to show you how you can able to provide a validation rule using this same scenario. Let's check that one. So I have already created a summary variable on that one. That is, you can create your summary variable via clicking on that summary variable in your navigation bar. So once you click on that summary variable, and I have created this one. So what I have provided in this condition, that my product code is regular bun, and the second one is if my Big Mac sauce quantity is greater than 0, then it should not allow me to proceed because I don't want Big Mac sauce with my regular bun. Right? Regular bun with Big Mac sauce, I don't want. So what I have done, I have created a summary variable for this one. So what it contains, what is my target object? In this case, I have selected product option. What function we want to use, aggregate function. In this case, I have used sum. You can vary as per your business requirement. You can use average, mean, max, count, whatever is good for you. In the aggregated field, there is quantity and also for which product. We need to identify, right, for which product we want to do the sum or we want to aggregate the quantity. So that is where we can able to provide filter field, that is product code or product family, whichever is required for you. And there is operator as well, equals, not equals, all the operator is there, and filter value. In this case, I have provided the filter value as my product code. And I have clicked on save. So this is how I can able to create a summary variable. Now up to this one is fine. Now how to use that summary variable in our error condition, that is using this one. So if you click on new, I click on edit in this case. So you need to provide a rule name. Rule name is already there. It will be auto selected. Now in this case, I will not select tested object and tested field because I have a tested variable. So I need to provide CPQ this understanding that please do work on this tested variable. Now I have already created this tested variable previously, that is the summary variable, and I have choose that one, and then I have provided the operator as greater than value equals to 0. So that is how it will able to understand that if in my this configuration, if regular burn is selected as well as the quantity is 1 here. So if this is selected with quantity 1, then it should not allow me to proceed. It will provide me a validation error. That is this one. And if I uncheck this one, because in that case, I have selected a regular burn and some other sources. So in this case, it will allow me to proceed. I can able to save that one. See, I am able to save that one. So that is how this summary variable, product rule, error condition will work. And also one more thing that I want to highlight here, that you can create a configuration rule. What configuration rule will hold? It will hold your product in which bundle this should be applied. So in this case, I want in burger bundle, this should be applied. So I've clicked the active and burger as well. So that is the reason it run on burger. So if you have more than one bundle product where it needs to be applied, you can create a different configuration rule, different row for each bundle product. Will also go with the validation. Selection will come into that later, but in this validation also we show you how it goes with the product option. Now we will show how validation go with the product configuration. Okay, configuration attribute. So configuration attribute, it's if you are not familiar with what is configuration attribute, how you can able to configure it in Salesforce, please watch my previous video. I have explained everything about configuration attribute on that particular video. So in this case, smartwatch is my bundle, and under that bundle I have a configuration attribute called size. Here I have two values, 40 mm and 44 mm. Now my use case is whenever we selected 44 mm as a configuration rule, so that my this one, and I selected as well USB wireless charging pad, then this should not go in parallel. If I try to save this one, this should provide me a validation error like this one. Okay, so I don't want to show, I will show this error message. How to do that one? How to configure? You can configure that in your Salesforce. That is, if you, this is your product rule, where it is same like on the validation, on product, and on save, evaluation event is save, then you should show this error message. Now in this case, my error condition is little bit different. This one is same, that whenever my product option is this one, and configuration, what will be my configuration attribute? So for configuration attribute, when you click on new, at that time in the tested object, you need to select a configuration attribute rather than product option or code or code line. So in the configuration attribute, the tested field should be size. So one thing I want to mention here, that you will not get the tested field whatever you want. You need to actually add that in your tested field pick list value. Like I have added size in my tested field pick list value, and size should be present in your configuration attribute, and then only you can able to use that one in both the places. So what I have done, that whenever the field is this one, the value should be 44 mm. So that is my criteria. So when these two criteria met, at that time I will not allow my sales rep to proceed further. That is how we can make use of our configuration attribute, summary variables, product option in our error condition with validation or alert, whatever you want. Okay, now let's move on to that we have already told about the selection rule. So how selection rule will work? So suppose if I selected this one, I have selected this smart light bulb. Now automatically my another, this one, this one, this one is disabled, if you can see. And if I uncheck that, so if you can use a another thing, then when you uncheck that one, this will again enable. You can do that as well, but for our demo purpose I have only show you that whenever you have selected this on load of this one, this will be disabled. Okay, so you can do it with the product option, with your code field as well. In this case, I have selected some other custom object. So how we can do that one? Let me show you the demo on the use case first, and then I will walk you through what steps you need to do to achieve this one. So suppose I have a use case like this. Depending upon some custom object, we can fire a product rule that is of type selection. So suppose I have three power outlet. One is for United States, second one is for United Kingdom, and third one is for Germany. Now when you select, when your quote is from United States, so you don't want to enable this, you don't want your sales rep to select power outlet of United Kingdom or power outlet of Germany, correct? And likewise, whenever you create a code for United Kingdom, you don't want your sales rep to select this one as well as this one, right? It should only enable this one. So why this is required, like why we need to create a custom object for that one, and we don't leverage our code object itself or our product option itself. So suppose after some days a new country added called India, and there we use some other different power outlet, then what will happen? You again need to configure the same for that particular country and for that particular product option. So we don't want to do that one. We want to mm, reduce our maintenance thing. So that is the reason we go with the custom object. So how we can able to achieve that one? So first of all, we'll create a custom object to store the data. In this particular custom object, three things is very much important. That is product, in which product you want to fire that particular rule, type, whether you want to enable that, disable that, what you want. That you can will come into type much more in detail after some time. And OL required. And what will be your in the condition? Like in our case, country will be our condition. So this is the thing that we need to create in our custom object. Once we're done with our custom object, then we'll go into our product rule. In the product rule is something different from our validation one and a normal selection type of product rule. So here we have selected type as selection and scope as product. Evaluation event as load. Whenever your product configuration page load, at that time they should run. Up to this, it's same with the another one. So the changes there in the lookup query information. Here you need to provide all the details, like with which custom object you want to fetch those error condition. That is, you want to create your condition based on which custom object, that is your outlet local. Now with what type of action you want to do, whether you want to enable that one, disable that one, add on, or what we want to do, that is OL type. Which product you need to check on, so you need to provide that product field here. So this is very much required to have that lookup query information. Because we have in the slide, if you check that one, this is very much important: error condition, action, lookup query, and configuration rule. So we have already talked about error condition in our previous video and as well as summary. But in this case, we want to talk about action and lookup query most. Okay, so we have selected all our required field in our lookup query information. Now what we need to do? We need to create a lookup queries. That is, depending upon which field which field should be matched, and then that rule should be fired. So for that one, we need to create a lookup query. So in this field, what we want, that whenever our quote shipping country match with our custom object country, at that time fire the rule. So what we'll do, we'll select the field value match type as field value. You can very well use static and configuration attribute, but in this case we have to use field value. Tested object as quote, because we want to compare it with the quote shipping country. And then with which one? With our custom objects country, that is OL country. So this one is the oil country. So we need to match this one, and depending upon that, our rule should fire if that condition met. Now once my rule fire, what it will do? There should be some action, right? So that is this one. It should disable and remove that one. And then which one will be disabled and removed? Wherever my product code match this one. Power. You can very well define any other criteria as per your business request. For this demo, I have choose this one. Whenever my product code contains power and my country doesn't match, those products should be disabled. So that is what I have shown you in this code. That in this case, my country is UK, my code country is United Kingdom, and whenever I land into this page, automatically all the US power outlet, Germany power outlet got disabled. Okay, so that is how you can able to configure that one. Now there are different type of actually product action, not product action, selection rule present. Different type of selection rule is present. So what is that one? That is add, remove. Add means check an option, remove means uncheck an option. Disable, you will not able to check that one. Enable, you can able to check that one. Disable and remove, if that particular option is already selected, then it will uncheck that one and disable that one, that is grayed out that option. Enable and add, that is it will enable plus check that particular option. Hide, completely remove from the page layout. Show, it will bring the hidden option back into the page layout. And hidden and remove, and show and remove. So this is the different type of selection rule we have. CPQ provided us. We need to use that as per our business requirement. Just one thing to keep in mind, that whenever you select add as your selection rule, at that time, whenever you select add on your selection rule, please do not forget to check this required checkbox. If you do not check this required checkbox, then your rule will not be fired. Fire on the necessary places. So please check this one. Other than add, that is, you don't need to check this required checkbox. Okay, so we have already covered this one. That is how the lookup query works, how our product action works, and also what is configuration rule. That in the configuration rule, you need to provide your product name here. So that is how the different selection rule works for you. And that is how you can configure all the things in your Salesforce org. If you have any queries, any suggestion related to this video, please type into the comment section. We'll reply back to you on that one. So that is all for today's session. Thank you for watching this video. Signing off for today. Will come with some new feature in our next session of CPQ.